Live. Said it'll be live soon, but she said act as if you're immediately seen. So let's just act as if we are. But we're live now. I think this is happening. Hello, network. So I am Chris Wink. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Technically. We're the news organization that is putting together today's network. Thanks for being here in this staged portion where you are. We're going to see. Caitlyn, can you actually, maybe we should mute each other when we're not talking, because I think I'm hearing myself. That might be me, though. But if not, we're good. There we go. We are going to, throughout today at Network, give you sneak peeks, some conversations about what it's like to actually work at some of the organizations that are exhibiting today. Caitlyn, you're from Urban, right? This is true?
Yes, this is true.
So tell me, just like quick sec, who are you? Who are you representing? And maybe give me a little sense of like, why are you there? Why are you at Urban? Give me that.
Yeah, so I'm Caitlyn, for everyone that doesn't know me. I've been in recruiting for about 7 years, and I work obviously with Urban Inc. as a senior recruiter. And Urban Inc. has a wide variety of brands underneath us, like Urban Outfitters, Free People, Anthropologie, and Nuuly. The talent org that I sit in is really unique in the sense that we operate as a shared service. So we have the opportunity to work with other shared services teams as well as our brands. So regardless of where you work, within Urban, I think one of the favorite parts for me is the people that I meet. And the breadth of audiences that I think we reach with all of our brands. It's super impactful for me. I learn so much from everyone that I work with, but everyone that I work with is also really, eager to learn from me as well, which I think is such a cool thing. And to know that the work that you're doing is touching millions of customers, I think that's such a cool thing.
Yeah, I'd bet. Yeah, and today at Network 50 Companies, we have folks ranging from those with global footprints like urban e-commerce sales, I imagine, around the world. We also have some very young, early startups. You get a full range, and you're hitting on it, right? Like one of the strengths of a company like Urban is you want to have a immediate impact on millions of people. It's one place to do it. Let's give folks a little sense of, I'm sure a company like Urban, you're probably always hiring for a whole lot of things. Yeah. Are there priority roles, or is there a good like snapshot you can give us to get in people's minds about what your team's looking for?
Absolutely. In my world, I would say engineering and marketing roles are the biggest priority. So we're hiring across the board, from entry-level engineers and marketers all the way to director-level positions. Sorry about my dog in the background here.
This is the level we're in, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. But I would say that, our engineering roles are our biggest priority. And that's because we're really looking to kind of shift throughout this pandemic from, driving people to our stores to driving people to our websites and our mobile applications. So, we're hiring on our software engineering teams, our mobile development teams, product managers, program managers, and project managers. So you name it, we probably have a role here for you. And I'm so excited to meet, so many people with so many different backgrounds.
I'll keep going through questions I have, but guys, thanks for getting questions. You can use the Q&A function or the chat. I am watching that. So a couple good questions already we have. One, I think every company is getting this question right now. Do you guys do any remote hiring? What's kind of the remote stance? I'm sure this is a challenging question that everyone's getting.
It's such a prevalent question, though, and I think it's such a great
question. Thanks, Raymond.
That I get asked all the time. And right now, we're kind of doing it on a case-by-case basis. A lot of our engineering roles can sit remote because we see the value in being able to hire, from all over, the United States. And I think that, we're finding that, the Philly tech market can be a little saturated in the sense that there's so many great companies here that, need folks to work on site, that we've, kind of brought in our scope there. Now, I would say if you're applying for a role that's customer facing, that involves a lot of kind of, cross-functional work, although our engineers do, work cross-functionally, I would say those roles, especially in marketing, probably have to sit on site. But again, it's really a case-by-case basis. So I encourage everyone to apply. And if you are, having to work remote, it's always a conversation I'm willing to take with my team and the team that I'm hiring for.
I'll also call it for those watching. I can say we at Technically, when we talk to a range of companies, right now everyone's a little more willing to have that conversation. So I think Caitlyn's right. Like Urban is blessed with a beautiful headquarters in the Navy Yard of Philadelphia. I have to think long before 2020, you guys had a very large recruiting footprint given your global business. So it's probably worth a conversation if you're interested in the work that happens there. Tell me a little bit about your team. I would imagine perhaps like specific to your team, which is separate than Urban has many teams.
Yeah,
what's the
absolutely.
dynamic like at your team? What's the
Yeah,
feel like, a day in the life? Anything that seems helpful for folks
for
to have a
sure.
picture of.
For sure. So I can talk a little bit about, I think the team that I work on is super unique. And so I'll talk a little bit about my team, but also the other teams that you can kind of work with here at Urban. So like I mentioned, our organization is unique in the sense that we have employees that work directly for our brands, like buyers, merchandisers, planners, allocation, marketing, analytics, etc. So if you're in any of those fields, the roles most likely will fall under our brands. And our brands, if you've ever been to a Free People store or an Anthropologie store, an Urban Outfitter store, really do hone that brand feeling. So when you walk into Urban Outfitters, it's almost like walking into a store. Everyone is so, creative and entrepreneurial, and again, willing to teach you and learn from you. However, outside of our brands, we have two technical teams. Technology, which we actually just combined our IT team and our DTC team, and DTC is direct to consumer for those of you who don't know. But again, our technology team really ranges anywhere from engineering to DTC operations, UX design, product management. We also have another engineering team that sits within our newest brand, Nuuly. The reason for kind of that separation of engineering teams is because Nuuly decided to build a platform completely from scratch. So because they decided to go completely greenfield, it makes sense for us to create a new team for that purpose. But regardless of where you work, though, each role is cross-functional. So you'll have the opportunity to work with multiple groups within different brands and departments within the organization. And in terms of kind of what you can expect, retail is extremely fast-paced. And now that we have a huge focus on e-commerce, there are so many exciting projects that we have coming up. It really is a great time to join because we're putting in so much effort into our online business. Now, of course, I do think that will shift a bit once the world starts to reopen and everyone's able to get the vaccine, but still, our 3-year plan was just announced, I would say, at the beginning of this quarter. And it's super exciting, and we're going to grow like crazy. We're opening 70 stores. We have plans for larger e-commerce programs, and the list really goes on and on. So you can expect a challenging role, but a challenge that you'll welcome, because I think it'll really put you not to the test, but it'll really, kind of show what you can do as an engineer or a marketer or a designer or whatever role you might sit in.
That's great. Chris, I do see your question in the Q&A. I'll get to that, but I want to hit a couple others in our last couple minutes together, Caitlyn. One, something that we technically believe in is that we're all looking for the right place for us, and not every place is the right fit for everybody. So one question I'm always curious about is like who thrives at Urban or this environment, and what is something that someone might not want? Like, do you have a sense of like who thrives and who perhaps maybe we fit elsewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. So couple points there. So I would say that first of all, we work outside of COVID, of course, we're all working from home now pretty much, but we work in a really open office space. So you don't have a cubicle. People don't really have offices. So I know that kind of environment isn't necessarily for everyone. It's common nowadays, but again, not necessarily, for everyone. The other thing is I think Urban gives its team members, regardless of the department you're in, a ton of autonomy. So you have the ability to make your own processes, to really, work independently and develop best practices on your own. And, working independently is not easy for everyone, especially, doing it remote. So I would say, we've implemented a really robust onboarding program, virtually, which has been super helpful. But again, if you're coming in at an entry level role, it can be kind of tough. But again, I think it's an awesome challenge for people because, you know, you can really grow as a person and as a professional. The other thing too, we're dog friendly. So for all my dog owners out there, that's great. You know, you can bring your dog to work. We have three dog parks in our mini campus down in the Navy Yard. But again, if you aren't a dog person or maybe allergic to dogs, just something to consider. So I do think Urban is an amazing place to work, and you can find a place, you know, regardless of kind of what you like and what you don't like. I think that's one thing that we're really instilling in our hiring managers now too, is that, hey, you know, every person is unique and you know, needs their own kind of space to do well, and we're trying to, you know, implement programs that do just that. So
I'm getting the signal that I am running a little tight on time, so I'm going to combine a couple questions here. Let me take a leap here, Chris. But you mentioned right now, you know, your team, you're in engineering and marketing. Urban is lots of teams, lots of departments. I would imagine there's all kinds of like, you know, manufacturing of things, distribution, but also, so can folks come to your booth if they think they might be wider on the than your scope? Are you a point of?
I would encourage everyone and all people to come, because even though we are a retail company, and I think when you think of like a retailer, you're like, oh, they only look for buyers or designers or whatever it might be. Everything from mailroom associates to customer solutions to distribution centers, call centers, all the way up to, again, engineering, directors of marketing, executive level positions. So regardless of what you do, I highly encourage you to come in and chat with us, and we can tell you, hey, yeah, we definitely have a space for you, and this is kind of where we think you would fit.
Beautiful. To wrap us up, sorry, a couple of these questions I'm not going to get to. Lasting, you know, impression, how you know, what's a good reason for someone to come over to your booth? Is there something that you would want to, you know, or for those who have been here, anything that they come over to your booth that they should plug or mention to note that they saw this chat?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, one thing that I find that we always look for in every team member that we hire is passion. Think that, you know, if you're passionate about what you do and you show that, and that doesn't mean, I think people sometimes confuse being passionate with being an extrovert, but I don't think that's it. If you show that you have passion and you show that you are, you know, you love what you do, and you're really looking to join a company that you can grow, you know, I think that really stands that we don't want to be a stepping stone. We have so many opportunities to, you know, grow within the business, all the way from associate software engineers all the way up to executive directors of engineering. So again, I think, you know, passion is one of those things you can't fake. So, you know, I love to see passionate folks within our business.
I love that. Let's go out on passion. Caitlyn, thanks so much for your time. This has been a conversation with the Urban team. They are in the booth all day. Go check them out. Caitlyn, thank you so much, and we'll see you there.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
I appreciate everyone. And yeah, questions I didn't get to, they come get Caitlyn in the booth. We'll see you there.